Welcome back to Quinte Vibes Live. Our next guest is Carrie Oswald, founder and inclusive leader of Belonging Redefined, a practice dedicated to helping people and organizations build cultures where everyone feels valued, respected, and truly included. Through thoughtful conversations, equity learning, and youth initiatives across local school boards, Carrie is helping communities reimagine what belonging really means. Please join me in welcoming Carrie Oswald to Quinte Vibes Live. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. That's such a warm welcome. Really appreciate that, Nikki.
Oh, you're welcome. And you look amazing. I love the hair.
It's a vibe.
It sure is. It's a vibe live. Okay, well, let's get into learning more about your background. So what inspired you to create Belonging Redefined? I love the title. And what does the word belonging mean to you personally?
That was such a great question, and thank you for that. I think when I look back at the story of Belonging Redefined, it's a fairly lengthy thing. It was a bit of a dream that I had, that I wanted to understand what belonging means. And I think when we moved here to Belleville, it really gave us an opportunity to bring ourselves from one part of our lives into a different one. And that asked me to look at my community and look at where I live and look at who the people are that are surrounding me and think to myself, do I belong here? And I guess that came to, the idea that I would make this company about that. So we really are about the question of what does it mean to belong for other people. But in order to understand what it means for other people, you have to know what it means for yourself too, right? So for me, belonging is all about all the different Carries that are here and trying to figure out who she is relative to where she is, and relative to the experience or the circumstance. And it's similar for everybody. It's similar for anybody in any circumstance to really look at who they are in that situation in that moment.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And so many organizations, talk about diversity and inclusion today, but from your experience, what is the difference between inclusion and true belonging?
There's a big difference between inclusion and belonging. And I think it's all about the invitation. So the invitation is intentional, right? People get invited to things and in the name of inclusion. So people are asked, come and attend, and everybody's welcome, and that's wonderful. But you can be welcome and still not belong. You can be invited and still not belong. There are different elements to belonging, and we can think of them from the perspective of a belonging wheel. It's something that you can research if you like. But there are different points in the wheel where all of those things coming together really create true belonging. Okay. And in the absence of that, all you are is included. It's not the same thing. Think of it from the perspective of you get invited to a party and you hang out in the back of the party. Yes, you were invited to go to the party, but you might actually feel really like it's not your party, right? And I think in ways that we can feel like we're not part of things, we can still be included, and that's all about the person who invited you, not about you specifically, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Like, you're invited to the party, but you're not drawn into conversations. Right. You're ignored at the party.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you might be ignored at the party, or you might just realize it's not your party. It's just not your party. It's not making you feel safe. It's not making you feel comfortable. It's not making you feel like you.
Yes.
And that happens more often than we realize, in many more situations than we understand.
I understand. So your work focuses on helping organizations build cultures where people feel valued, which is amazing. Well, so what are your practical steps, or what would you suggest are practical steps leaders can take to create this type of environment?
Yeah, leaders play a big part in the success of belonging, and I think it has to do with humility from a leader. So a leader's in a position of power, right? And a leader is in a position of influence. And if a leader is going to create an environment for other people, they need the humility themselves to be able to step back and say, this isn't about me. This is about you, and this is about my ability to understand what it is you need in order to lead other people to understand what they need to do to create an environment that helps everybody. And a lot of leaders are stuck with that. They get stuck in the idea that I have these outcomes I need to create, these objectives, these
KPIs.
goals, these KPIs,
Yeah.
and that's great, but it doesn't allow for the leader themselves to step back and say, the wider picture would actually help us achieve that goal just as well if I understood it better. And in some cases, leaders don't. And that's the work that I do. I work with leaders who are on their own journey to understand that humility piece. And sometimes that's really difficult,
Right.
because there's egos involved, right? And there are all kinds of learnings and unlearnings that need to happen. Those unlearnings are tough. They're really, really tough. The conversations that we have are sometimes really squirmy. And for me, that is the work that I do. I love a difficult conversation. Anybody who has met me knows that I don't shy away from brave conversations. I can't. It's part of the work that needs to happen. But if you're willing as a leader to come in and be in that place where they can unlearn, definitely come see me. Definitely come talk to me.
Yeah. Can you give an example of something recent?
I can, actually. So the Center for Healthy Communities at Loyalist College is a group that I work with, and they are on a journey to raise the level of inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility in the work that they do in research. And they've committed to the process of developing a framework around their research to be able to say that all of their research models are as balanced as they can possibly be from an equity perspective. And that took a lot of guts to say that they wanted to do it, but a lot of work to get to the place where they actually are committed to doing that. The entire team has gone through the process of examining their bias, examining what bias looks like in research,
Right.
and committing to ways to build that framework so that it can be in place, not just for the research itself, but for the community partners, for their NSERC funders, for everybody that they touch, to make sure that there are as few barriers as possible. And the challenge that they had was in being able to come up with statements that would commit to that and a framework that would commit to that long term.
Right.
Knowing that they have lots to unlearn.
And I imagine you touch on bias.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, bias is a part of the equation. Bias is probably the easiest part of the equation.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, unconscious bias that we bring to our workplace.
Yeah.
I'm sure you dismantle those as well.
We try to, and understanding that unconscious bias lives in all of us, some more to a degree than others, some more harmful than others. But understanding that it's the case doesn't negate the ability to change it.
Right.
Right? So just because we understand that we have unconscious bias doesn't mean that we don't have the ability to address it when it happens. Doesn't mean that we can't put ourselves in a position to really look at what's behind the bias.
Yes.
And then from there be able to say, okay, I commit to changing this. Every time I notice it, I will commit to changing it.
I love that. So you were involved in Braver Conversations for Black Youth.
Yes.
And why are initiatives like this so important for young people?
I think it's important to go back a step and talk about what that meant. The Braver Conversations for Black Youth is definitely a turning point. I've called it that on several occasions. It's a turning point because we took it a step further than just doing a performative thing for Black youth. We could have done a Black History Month thing and everyone could have said, yay, check the box, we did that. But what it actually entailed was taking the research that we had done a year prior in asking youth in the community what they wanted from the community, and then turning that into an event that addressed those issues. So they were asking to be seen. They were asking for representation during Black History Month. They wanted an event for themselves. And so we took it upon ourselves, the Quinte Local Immigration Partnership Anti-Racism Committee took it upon ourselves to put together an event that brought Black youth to Black community leaders, had an opportunity for them to match themselves. What that did was it not only helped Black youth to be seen and heard and loved openly, it allowed the Black community to be able to say, we get a chance to meet each other. And that doesn't happen very often, right? Especially not here. I see the Black community, because I'm part of the Black community, I see myself as hiding in plain sight. We're here, hiding in plain sight. And so this opportunity kind of allowed us to openly say, okay, we're here. We're not going anywhere. Right. And this inspiration for our youth shows them that they can see themselves here too. And they're not going anywhere. And so what can we do about that? What are we going to do about that? This opened the door for a lot of conversations about what is next. And that is something we're working through. What is next?
Fantastic. So from your experience and observation, what are the Black youth saying about how they feel represented?
A, we should have done this a long time ago. And B, what more can we do? Can we do this more often? Those were the two striking pieces that came out, and there is a media release that that we've recently put together as well. And those were the two pieces of feedback that I think put together a call to action for us as a community to really find a way to make this happen for them more often in bigger ways. And not just include Black youth in the community, but Black community youth that are outside of school. So we'd like to see this grow a little bit more in the community. My big dream is to have a community hub. Similar to what happens in other cities and other centers, a place where we can all gather that can help to address what the Black community needs, youth, adults, seniors, all of us. And I think it can happen, but I also think we're at the beginning.
I think so too. Yeah. I think there's a really great future. Thank you so much. Carrie Oswald, thank you so much for what you do to redefine belonging. Wish you the best of luck, and yeah, you might see me at your track meet.
That's awesome. Come on out. Come on out.
Awesome. All right, you've been watching Quinte Vibes Live. I am your host, Dr. Nikki Clarke. It's been a fantastic conversation, and I hope to see you next time with some more powerful news of what people are doing in the Quinte area. Bye for now.